Whitetail University and Summit Specialties present Bucks from Above. Hosted by the Summit Design Team, John Waller Jr., Ron Waller, Will Waller, and David South. Also featuring Whitetail University Director and Bowhunting Biologist, Wade Nolan.
I think I'm addicted to whitetail hunting. I mean, not to the point where I'm ready to seek help, but I know I'm addicted to it. I just love it. But why do we spend so much time pursuing whitetails? Have you asked yourself that? Here's the answer. It's because it's so challenging. It's because we lose so often. Have you ever looked underneath the Whitetail University logo? It says Educating America's Whitetailers. You know, it's a double-edged sword because more often than not, it's the bucks that are educating us. But we've been taking notes. And as a matter of fact, we have 75 functional, tested tree stand strategies and tips all lined up for you in the next 90 minutes. And if you pay attention, next year when you're out there, you'll be more effective hunting those bucks from above.
Recent polling data gathered from telephone interviews with mature bucks lists the 5 biggest mistakes bow hunters make as not paying attention to concealment, lack of scent management, failing to be silent, poor bow drawing technique, and errors in yardage estimation. Pay attention, we'll tell you how to eliminate all 5 problems.
You know, after hunting whitetail for a long time, I still go back to using a climber most of the time. It's a little more trouble because you got to climb the tree rather than just go up a ladder or whatnot, but a climbing stand allows you the ability to move with that wind. If you're hunting a spot that the deer are coming into and you get there, you want to make sure you know what the wind direction is. And with a climber like this, you can set up downwind so you don't have any problem. The Summit Saber is an affordable stand, but it gives you a lot of features like the other products do. It's secure, it's camouflage, it's comfortable. You can see this stand, like the others, it's all welded and you can stand on the edge to make your shot. But what I like about this easy seat that we have on this stand is if you're sitting down and the last 30 minutes or so you want to change your position, maybe hunt a little bit higher, all you have to do is lift that seat up and you can sit in this position so you only have this far to move to stand up. Of course, you can still shoot sitting down. But the most important thing about a climber is that wind direction. It allows you to go so that you're downwind of where the deer are supposed to come in.
This father and son team know the importance of managing their scent by using the wind to their advantage. This setup will allow their scent to blow into the open field behind them. It's an afternoon hunt, and they predict that the buck will be skirting the field on a perimeter trail about 20 yards from the fence line. Think back to your first bow hunt. Memories tend to fade, but events of that day are etched deeply into your mind. 12-year-old Billy is busy etching.
Oh, this is my first buck. And first day archery season, and I was in a summit tree stand. That really helped me. I was up there. And moved all around, and it helped out a lot. And I guess I was just at the right place, at the right time. And I love it.
Here's a couple of tips that I'd like to tell you when you're hunting whitetails. A whitetail has a superb sense of hearing. They can hear the slightest noise. When you're walking in the woods on dry leaves like this, you need to pause occasionally and break your cadence. You know the difference between what a squirrel sounds like and what a deer sounds like walking in the woods. The same goes for a human. As you're walking, stop occasionally and it'll make a big difference to your successful hunting. Summit uses dual arches on all their climbing tree stand models. This lets you engage the tree without making any noise. Just listen how quiet you can climb with the Summit tree stand.
You know, ladder stands are great, but this one really has an engineering package you want to take a close look at. Let me show you some of the things that we've incorporated into this new Samson ladder. This cable system you're going to notice, you're not going to see it anywhere else. This cable tensions the ladder structure itself and gives it incredible stability. And then on the back side here, you'll find that this ladder actually is attached to the tree at the bottom, and you pull it into the tree with this rope. Now here's the part where you sit. It's up above. Now you see the seating arrangement on the Samson ladder is such that you're sitting in a signature seat. It's the most comfortable seat in the country. And the roomy platform, you're going to enjoy that. And then you also notice that we're enclosed on 3 sides. Now that's important because that gives you that incredible security when you're sitting up there. You know, ladder stands are important because it gives those people, those hunters who aren't comfortable with a climber or a hang-on platform somewhere to hunt, gets them off the ground. And from 13 feet, you can be effective.
Solana Ranch in central Texas is a new secret that's being whispered among bow hunters these days. Solana whitetails have not been commercially hunted for 40 years. This ranch has some of the best habitat and water in the Lone Star State. Combine that with an aggressive management program, and you've got a Texas-size honey hole. Orrin Hill and his guide team have got their ducks in a row.
Well, we have a number of large mature bucks on the ranch, and we want to keep them that way.
Yeah.
And just by bow hunting only,
You're right.
it ensures that.
You're right. And people have that opportunity. Last night, Jerry and I were sitting there in that tree up on that ridge.
Uh-huh.
I mean, 20 inches wide, 10-point buck. He didn't come into the tree stand, but he would have. But some cattle came in just by chance. But you're even phasing that out.
Oh, yes. We're cutting the cattle herd to about 25% of what it originally was.
See, so it's going to primarily be a whitetail ranch. So, Warren, you know, I know Texas has a few cowboys left. I can tell by the hat that you're an old cowboy. But tell me this, I know Texas also hardly ever has any water, though. You come down here and it says, back home where I'm from, Pennsylvania, like the Allegheny River is full of water all the time. But you see rivers down here, they're bone dry sometimes.
Yes. But we're real fortunate on this ranch. This is the Salado Creek, one of the largest ones on the ranch, and it runs year-round. Then we have the Rumsey Creek. We have both the north and south forks of it, and Buttermilk Creek.
But Warren, this is the kind of place I look for. When we're setting up a hunt, I look for somewhere that has plenty of room to work with.
Yes. We have plenty of room here.
No. See, back where I'm from, you get 40 acres. That's a big farm in Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
What do you have here?
Well, you know where we come in, the front entrance up there?
Yeah?
It's 16 miles to the other end, and it's about 5 miles wide. Hello, Billy Jack.
What's going on?
Not much. You see many deer?
No, not many deer, but some hogs.
Did you see some hogs? Some big hogs?
Yeah, I seen one real good.
Did you? Well, we'll see if we can't do something about that.
We saw the deer last night, so that suits me.
Okay.
Be careful, Billy Jack.
Here's a tip on moving. All hunters anticipate that they will see the deer before the deer sees them. When sitting rock still and facing forward, we only see about a 140-degree arc. By slowly panning your head from side to side, you can pick up over 100 degrees of visibility and see up to 240 degrees. That's a 70-degree increase in visibility. Don't stare and look straight ahead in hopes that a buck won't see you moving. If it's a slow, methodical movement, you won't be seen, but you will see better.
Man, he didn't go far. Look at that buck. Gosh, he's beautiful. You know, when you know where they're coming and going to, being able to set up in the perfect spot is a total advantage.
10 or 12 yards. That's it? About 18 yards shot. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but since we ain't here, this gentleman over here got him.
10.5-year-old.
What's he got? Nice 8-point, huh?
I'm not as spooky as you are.
He was expecting it.
I've been around too many.
What he said?
Same length.
Yeah, but the one just had dinner, huh?
That makes you alive. He's still moving.
Cut him open. There's probably a few mice in there. Probably a few bow hunters in there.
You don't have to be 30 feet up in a tree to be effective as a deer hunter. I've been ambushing whitetails for over 40 years. One of the secrets that I use is I stand in an evergreen tree. In this case, it's a hemlock. It conceals you, it breaks up your outline, gives you plenty of cover. Here's another little trick that I use. Right at arm's length, you have all kinds of cover scent. Just take a branch from the evergreen tree, you rub it between your hands and break the needles, you can rub it on your clothes, it emits a powerful cover scent. When you're hunting whitetails, you have to think concealment.
The Samson ladder is a perfect observation platform for your son or daughter. Although it works for all whitetailers, both older and younger hunters seem to prefer climbing the familiar ladder rungs. Let's look in as Mike and Stacy dial in on a Lone Star buck. Thickets and second growth cover are often excellent hides and bedding areas, but tree size often precludes the use of a climber. The Samson ladder tips into place and can be set up almost anywhere. An open mind to stand type can often turn the key on those cagey bucks that stay in heavy cover.
What a shot.
Where? Well, he sure is. You found him.
Hey, way to go, Stacy. Bad at all, is he? I'd like to point out a couple of features you need to look for in a climbing tree stand that will make you more successful. The Summit Shooter 2 here offers exceptional stability. Let me take a minute. When I'm looking at the CAD system, that's computer-aided design, and designing tree stands, I apply some very basic engineering principles, but using modern technology. For example, if you look at a bridge, the Golden Gate, for example, has a huge cable. It's a suspension bridge, so it's suspended from above. The modern-day bridges are made from reinforced concrete, pre-stressed concrete. They use the support structure underneath. The Shooter 2 and all of the Summit climbing tree stands use the same principle, because that gives you exceptional stability. The supports come up near the corners, so no matter where you go on the tree stand, it's outstanding stability. And that's important when you're moving around, especially bow hunting, trying to make that perfect shot. Using the dual arch system that Summit has employed for about 15 years, in combination with the 90-degree back bar, provides exceptional tree adherence and stability. Now I'd like to tell you a few features about this seat. What I really like about this seat is that it's so versatile. One, it's extremely comfortable. Two, it lets me climb facing the tree, and then I can stand up and switch it around to face away from the tree if I don't like sitting in this position. Using these special hooks designed by Summit that are plastic coated so they don't make any noise, I don't have to stand up and step over the seat. I simply lift it off of the bar, reverse it, and then sit down facing away from the tree. But with any stand-up, sit-down climber, especially the Summit Shooter 2 and the Shooter 2 Boss, they're so easy to climb with. When you finish climbing, you can simply stand up, disconnect the hooks, turn the seat around, and face out from the tree. Just an unbelievable stand to hunt from.
Whitetail research tells us that deer move about every 6 hours. These movements may be a little more concentrated at dawn and dusk, but that doesn't mean that's the only time they move. A lot of deer will move around the midday hour. What we like to do is find a place where there's some heavy feeding sign in a real secluded area, you know, maybe not on a green field or something like that, but off in a thicket. We'll climb in the morning, we'll catch the early morning shuffle when the deer are moving around, and then at midday we'll see a lot more deer activity. Nebraska last year, we found a place just like that, and climbed in it, set up, sat there all morning. About 11:30 we saw more deer than we'd seen the whole trip. Part of the reason for that is the comfort that we've incorporated in this signature seat. We've got stiffeners down here in the bottom that will actually conform to your body. Another neat thing is this foam backrest. What it does is it helps insulate your kidneys, all your blood's circulating through there anyway, and it helps keep you warm on a cold stand. What that will help you do is be more successful.
Sooner or later, most whitetail bow hunters travel to Colorado in search of elk. Most adopt traditional calling strategies from ground level, but a few bow hunters on the cutting edge will try bulls from above. Every year, a growing number of elk hunters discover that stand hunting over wallows or on high-use corridors can be exciting. Harlan and Ron have only been in this tree for 1 hour. Watch what happens. Next, the herd bull decides he'd better check out that hyper-hot cow calling he hears, and down he comes through the Quakies. Something tells me that Ron and Harlan will be back next year. For information on the location of this tree, send $10,000 cash in a self-addressed stamped envelope. Just kidding.
Got him. All right. Look at the size of this thing. Well, that's bigger than any whitetail we've ever shot.
Really. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Great. 5x4 pull. Man, that's super. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First elk with a buck.
All right. Golly, look at that thing. Man, what is that? 6x4. God. Bow hunting for elk from some tree stands. You just can't beat it.
Boy, hunting from one of these tree stands is absolutely fabulous. You get up high, you can see every game that moves. It seems like you can see for miles. But you know, being in a tree stand also has a few dangers. Let me give you a safety tip that you can use. When you're done hunting for the day and you put that equipment down, you need to take and wake up your muscles again. You need to take and maybe do some stretching. Isometrics work great. Maybe open up those legs. The older I get, the tougher that job is, I'll tell you. And what I need to do is get my body awake, because I've been sitting here in comfort just a little bit too long and maybe a little bit too cold. So wake it up, get those stretches, get those muscles back up to par. The same muscles that took you back up the tree then can safely take you back down. Now there's a tip you can use.
Well, you have to save yourself.
Snow angels may be fun when you're 5 years old and you only have a couple of feet to go before you hit the ground. But I'm here to tell you, as a middle-aged bow hunter, you don't want to do it from 18 feet. Now, 50 yards from here 30 days ago, I fell from a tree. Now, I was lucky. I was able to make it out of the woods that day, but I know of bow hunters who haven't been so lucky. I've got 4 pointers for you that are going to make you safer, and if you're safer out in the woods, you're going to be more successful, because we want you to come back from your hunting trips. So here are some things that you can do. First of all, when you climb a tree safely. Another mistake that people make is dead branches. I made that mistake a month ago. I'm never going to do it again, where I'm going to trust my life on a dead branch. Don't do that. So what you want to do is you want to use a solid, secure, dependable climbing system, such as the Swift tree. This thing's made out of steel. It's not only attached securely to the tree, but when you're coming up and going down in the tree, when are you doing it? You're doing it in low light conditions. You may have snow or mud on your boots like I do today. You don't want something that's going to slip off. These beautiful stirrups that they have here, you're not going to make a mistake when you're coming down in the dark on this baby. It's secure. It can't come out. Also, when you're climbing a tree, use a climbing harness. And here's a real pointer for you. One of the most dangerous times that you have when you're getting in and out of a tree stand is at that point when you're leaving your climbing system, leaving your handholds and footholds, getting onto your platform. Do yourself and your family and your friends and your loved ones a big favor. Use the climbing harness system here, so that when you're at the danger point, you're still secure if something happens. That's what happened to me. One of my last tips is always use a 3-point stance. When you're coming up or going down, use 2 hands and 1 foot all the time, or 2 feet in 1 hand all the time, up or down. At that point, you've got a big margin of safety on your side. Finally, always use your head and tell somebody where you're going, when you're going to be back, and what to do if you don't come back from the woods.
Heartland Lodge is located in Pike County, Illinois. This is the agricultural heartland of America. The blend of hardwoods, corn, and soybeans make this some of the finest whitetail habitat in America. Heartland is owned and operated by Dr. Bob Russell, an avid outdoorsman. Bob has assembled over 5,000 acres of prime Midwest buck habitat.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
You guys have got some hot spots you can put us in?
Well, we've been scouting a couple areas that look pretty good. Right down here, there's a rub line, scrape line, that comes right down into this woods on this point right down here. And then we looked on this ridge up here, and there's a bunch of scrapes and rubs right along here, and there's a couple right out by this old bean field right on the edge right here that look pretty good. And I think they've been coming out here in the evening. That might be a good place for a stand right there.
That's good for us if we're filming on a edge of a field sometimes. That gives you a better light, you know, later.
Better shots,
but you know, I guess it's the rut's happening now. You got a lot of guys I'm talking to are just seeing tons of movement. You know, my buddy Rick saw 5 bucks yesterday in like 6 hours sitting in a stand, and there was a couple that were book bucks, so they're moving.
Well, the rut's a little bit later this year. It started out slower, but now it's starting to pick up speed a little bit. So probably for the camera, we'd be better up here because this will get dark sooner in the woods.
Let's join Georgia bowhunter Bill Schofield as he spends an afternoon at stand level overlooking the scrape line that Bob has scouted.
Good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a nice buck. I tell you what, he never knew we were here.
Man, he was rubbing that fence post, wasn't he?
He sure was. He worked on that.
But that ain't what it's all about. You look like he was really shaky there at the last.
Yeah, he did.
Mama be proud.
Good job.
Hey, I was invited up on this hunt to Illinois, and it just doesn't get any better than this. I was invited by the guys at Summit Specialties. They build tree stands. It had no problems, no squeaks, just all the movement we had to make to get the shot, which was had to make several turns to make the shot, and everything just worked great. The people at Heartland Outfitters are the outfitters here, and they just treated us great. They got a great team of guys taking us out. Accommodations are great. Just, I don't see I could ask for a better hunt than this, and this is a culmination of it.
You know, I've been hunting these whitetail for many, many years, and if you're like I am, you've dropped everything you own out of the tree stand. Hats, gloves, broadheads, face masks, and so forth. Here's a tip I think might help you. If you carry a magnet like this in your pocket or in your fanny pack, all you have to do is tie your bow rope to it if you drop a broadhead, because I don't know of an arrow, I don't know of a hook made that'll grab an arrow. You just lower this down, do a little fishing, grab that broadhead and bring it right back up in the tree stand with you. Easy as it can be.
Here's something you may not have considered. Climbers like the Shooter 2, a Saber, or a Signature stand can all be used as a fixed position stand. Your safest bet is to use a swift tree climbing pole to reach your stand level. This allows you to hunt a tree with lots of limbs. Your climber can even accommodate a leaning tree. Being flexible with your setups will put bucks in trouble. Here's something else the whitetails are unhappy about. This new laser rangefinder from Bushnell works so good it's spooky. It's called the Lightspeed. Once you know your yardage, you'll be able to make a sound, ethical decision on what's within your effective range. The cedar tree in front of that doe is exactly 26 yards away.
I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of time and money picking out this particular firearm. When I'm in the woods, I like to take care of this just like I am at home. One nice feature with this Shooter 2 Boss is this enclosed armrest. It incorporates a padded armrest, so it allows you to help take care of this rifle. You know, if I move it along here, I don't have any opportunity to scrape or scratch the barrel or the stock. Another nice feature that you have with this is a built-in shooting rest.
At least 50% of all bow hunters are two-season hunters. If you decide to take a deer with your muzzle loader or rifle, make sure you take your very best shot. That means use a gun rest. This padded rest that Talc is using will ensure that his shirt tail remains intact and that his freezer stays full.
We all know the Shooter 2 Boss is a tremendous gun stand, but let me tell you why I like this also as a bow stand. I don't know about you, but when I get up in the tree, I like to feel enclosed. And what's nice about this is this defines my perimeter, and I'll show you how this helps you in being a hunter. You know, let's say you have a whitetail walking toward you. As it's coming towards you, you can stay focused on that particular animal instead of worrying about where your feet are. And let me show you why. As you step forward, this contact on this bar allows me to know where I am. Last year, let me tell you about something that happened with me. We were up in New York and had a deer come in behind us. What was nice about this stand was I was able to turn and use this as a rest so I could reach out around the tree.
I had to promise this bow hunter that I wouldn't say his name if I used this footage, and his name has not crossed my lips. I don't know what it's like where you hunt, but I hunt the eastern hardwoods for whitetails, and I'm running into the same problem all the time. I find a hot scrape or an apple tree I want to set up on, and there's not a straight tree in sight. All these crooked trees. And I mean, I hunt out of hang-on platforms most of the time, but when you set up a hang-on in a crooked tree, it's either tilted down or up, it's uncomfortable or dangerous. So the engineering team at Summit have solved that problem, and the whitetails are in trouble. Here's what they've done. They've designed 2 new tree stands, a new platform stand. This one here is called the Sidekick, and with a different seat we call it the Stinger. But let me show you how it operates. Like all Summit stands, the hang-on stands, we have a belt that goes around, that hooks onto these 2 D-rings. And when you're hooking it to the tree, what you want to do is you lift the stand up to about a 45-degree angle and tighten this belt. As you tighten that belt, you have contact on the D-rings back here, and the stand should hang, actually, without you being on it, at about a 45-degree angle. Now, as you push this down, it cams into place. But as I do that, let me show you the modification or the new design that we have on this stand, the Sidekick, that makes it so functional. This arm moves up and down, and this strut right here has a number of holes in it. So what I do is I pick the proper hole in the strut, set it into the bolt back here, put the nut on the top of it. Now when I cam this thing down into position, what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a level platform. Watch. There you go. Now we've got a level platform. Now, let me show you how the seat operates. This seat is the seat design from our signature series tree stands, and it's the most comfortable seat in the woods by far. What happens is it has armrests on it, so when you're sitting, you can take some of the weight off of your shoulders. Another thing it has stiffeners in the base of in the bottom of the seat right here, and they make it so it doesn't pinch your buns. And so these stiffeners really make it comfortable. Now let me show you, if you want to switch over and go with a Stinger, which is a simpler seat design, let me show you how that works. This seat is adjustable, and you pull this pin out to adjust it. And so you can remove this seat and put this seat on. Now this seat is the seat for the Stinger. And what's kind of neat about this seat is, as you're sitting on it and you stand up and a whitetail approaches, all you have to do is push on it with your leg right here, and the seat folds up out of the way. I'll tell you what, that was a problem with the lack of straight trees where I hunted, but the problem's been solved and the whitetails are in trouble.
If you're like I am, you've probably been caught by these whitetails in a sitting position where you didn't think you could move. It was too spooky. Well, if you can learn to shoot sitting down, you can solve that problem. All you have to do is in your backyard, instead of standing up and shooting, just sit down and do your practicing there.
Rick is hunting tight cover over a scrape. When deer show up here, they're on top of you. Shooting from a sitting position is clearly the most effective strategy in dense cover. If you haven't practiced and mastered the sitting shot, you need to. Notice how Rick stops the doe before he takes the shot.
deer went down within 20 yards. It's a mature Pennsylvania doe. And I've been watching a buck for quite some, well, been watching a scrape line, I should say, for quite some time. And I chose to fill my doe tag this evening. I just can't believe that deer went down within 20 yards.
Okay, here we go.
Have you ever been in a situation where you found a sign on the side of a hill, but you were afraid to climb because if a deer came over the hill, they'd see you? Well, don't be afraid to use the tree for cover. Put your tree stand on the downhill side of the tree. That way, you've got the tree for cover. Summit stands are camouflaged anyway, and you can always stand on the edge to make your shot behind the tree on either side. So use that tree for cover when you're hunting the side of a hill.
If the animal is moving slowly through cover that offers a number of shooting holes, track the animal's movement with your bow. I point my arrow right at him as he moves. Tracking will ensure that you're ready to make the most out of even a 5-second shot window if he stops. And plus, by tracking, you mask your movement.
Got one. It's a good spot. There's about 6 trails coming in here. I knew we'd get one here.
Boy, if you stick with it, it'll work out. I've probably been out 6 or 8 times this year. Finally, it paid off. Woo-hoo. Look at that buck. Man alive. Ha! I thought it was just a spike. There's a couple little stickers on here. This is actually not a 1.5-year-old buck. That's probably a 2.5-year-old buck right here. Some of them get really big. We shot a buck here last year, probably 100 yards from right here. 3.5 years old, scored 130. You just never know. But this is a buck I was waiting for. The first buck that walked in today. I'm not too picky. But, boy, I tell you, it was a perfect setup. Let me tell you what I did. Look at the neck on that thing, huh? Woo. He was really in motion. Here's what I did. I came in here grouse hunting yesterday, and I was walking through here. I came across this little clearing. This is an old farmstead. There's an old remnants of a barn over here, rocks stacked up. And I thought, this is a pretty nice little opening right in the middle of nowhere. All these hardwoods. I walked in here, there's 3 deer trails coming in from this side, 2 coming in from over here, a scrape right there, a scrape right there. He went to that scrape. You see him stop at that first scrape? And he was at that scrape. I couldn't shoot it though. And then he decided he was walking over to this other scrape where I can't shoot. Just so happens, when I put my stand up, I didn't take the time to clear any shooting lanes. It was getting late and I wanted to get out of here rather than send it up. But I just waited until we walked across, and it's a great spot. We had 2 does down here early, and then this buck came huffing over that hill. You could probably hear him huffing coming down there. He had his mouth open. He's been running does all night. Anyhow, what I did, I brought my setup in, my whitetail setup, my tree stand. I set it up right here, and then I looked around. There was no shooting lanes, so I knew when I saw this buck coming, I knew something. and that is that I was going to have to stop him for the shot. I'm not going to shoot a moving deer because you won't do as well as you think you're going to do. And so I waited, and as he crossed here, I knew where there was a little opening, and I just kind of went at him, made a noise at him, and he stopped. If you have a buck grunt with you, you know, you can put that in-mouth call. You can do that, works great. I've used that a ton of times, but I didn't have it in my mouth today. But nice buck, huh? Man, I just love this Pennsylvania hunting. November 7th, I think. The rut's just getting going.
There are a few regions of America where trophy whitetails die of old age. Nebraska is one of those places. With only 4,000 bow hunters in the entire state, there is clearly room for youth. Nebraska Trophy Whitetails is a new option for bow hunters who are drawn to the frontier of whitetailing. This outfit is owned and operated by Kent Hippen and Paul Payton.
The record book animals, I just know, I'm looking at your wall in there, you know, I can't believe some of those bucks.
We were real happy. Out of 30 some guys we had at least 10 opportunities at quality book animals, and a few guys took some. So we were real happy with that.
So a third of your hunters have had an opportunity to shoot at a Pope and Young class buck. Yep. That's going to be hard to hold a candle to.
Some of them had the Nebraska earthquakes, and they didn't do so well.
You don't see those bucks at home, you know, a lot of times. Well, that's great. That's really good. And I see a lot of non-typical tendency. I see some of this, you know, some really interesting, neat-looking bucks taken.
The Pope and Young record book non-typical comes from Nebraska.
Oh, really?
Yes, it does. And there was a approximate 250 14 by 16 brought in, not to the check station this year. We took a photograph and we were impressed.
Wow.
Scott does it all perfectly on this hunt. You need to think about these two tips before you draw on your next deer. Number 1, wait until the deer's eyes are focused away from you. Number 2, watch other deer in the vicinity before you draw. They can ruin your plans. The arrow placement is perfect. This doe will be down in under 60 seconds.
Stuck here.
Good shot. You practiced hard all season, and a lot of practice paid off for shooting that 10 ring right out of that. But remember, hunting out of a tree stand, you have to hit that deer a lot higher, and the different angle you have to figure out where. Just try to imagine that there's no skin or hair on the deer, and you can look through it and see the lungs and heart. And there's a lot of pictures and illustrations on the market today to help you with that. But remember, in shooting, you got to get up no matter what angle and cross-section the lungs. So remember, shooting that spot out of a tree stand, you're not going to get any points at all.
Once you have 3 or 4 deer in front of you, it's really difficult to draw your bow. I stand and get my bow vertical as early as possible. I use a bow holder hung from my belt to rest the bottom limb in. That way my arms don't fatigue. Then when I see a shot opportunity coming together, I slowly raise the bow and aim the broadhead right at the deer. My draw is slow, and I watch all the nearby deer for alarm while I'm drawing. Anchoring on a single deer in a group of deer is a game you'll often lose.
She's down. I heard her go down. Size of that doe. Holy mackerel. That is the biggest doe I've ever taken in my life. That's as big as a horse. Holy cow. That's got to be a 180-pound doe. Nebraska whitetails, oh, they big. Hey, quality deer management.
Got to crop those does, and it's a lot of fun too.
No idea. No idea. 6 more of those and he says 9 lives are up.
We provide you with a safety belt that's attached to all of our climbers. If you notice, you can wrap it around the tree stand so it doesn't drag or catch on any branches as you go through the woods. When you finish climbing, take the hand climber or the seat climber, position it on top of the tree stand like this. We provide this bungee cord so that you can, one, it holds the seat climber in position when you stand up to make a shot, and it can be also used to tie these 2 bars together so they don't make noise when you go in the woods. The seat can be tucked in here, and this special strap that comes with all of our tree stands can be used to tie it down securely. You know, several universities have done studies and have found that 80% of whitetail hunters hunt within 400 yards of a road. So that means if you want to be a successful whitetail hunter, you need to get out beyond the pack. Get into that area where there's not a lot of hunting pressure. You'll be more successful.
Nice spike. Wow. I wonder where you were. Gee, that's a nice deer. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Where'd you get him? Back where?
That's that big beech tree.
Oh yeah. That one that I saw the deer.
Yeah.
He's a fat deer for a spike.
Current research has shown that an extremely high percentage of bow-shot whitetails which are not recovered do survive. But I want to caution and urge you to conduct a thorough search for any deer your arrow contacts. This shot was poorly placed, yet the buck traveled only a short distance before he went down. Although a heart and lung shot is preferred, a razor-sharp broadhead can stop a deer in minutes if it cuts a major artery or passes through the liver. The descending aorta was likely severed with this shot. Follow up every shot. Be responsible.
We've got a place here in Union Springs that we call the Wheel Hill, named after me. It's got a big bowl that goes all the way around this place. One morning I was sitting on one side of this bowl and I watched a buck walk down the other side. Walked over later that morning to find out, what he was doing. Found out that there were a bunch of big trees over there. With the flared upright arms on this stand, you can see that I can climb anywhere from an 8 to a 20-inch tree, which definitely gave me an advantage in that situation.
Ascending a tree slowly will allow you to climb with no more noise than a squirrel would make. Here, Scott puts it all together. He stands up while the deer is still 40 yards away and in cover. Next, he anticipates the shot and positions his feet. Scott draws when the doe's head is behind some brush. The rest is relatively easy. It's the part you practiced at home.
Nothing more you could ask for.
Here are a couple of tested tips that'll help you use your buck tag. When do you stand up? Well, if you have to stand to shoot, you need to stand up as early as possible after sighting that deer. Watch a buck's eyes. When he passes behind a tree, make your move. Don't wait. If you wait until he's under 20 yards, you often lose. Watch Jerry draw on this buck. The deer is occupied with acorns and his attention is focused just 10 inches in front of his face. This buck should have been paying closer attention. Jerry Frecking is one of America's top IBO shooters.
Oh, what a setup. This is great. Oh, it didn't go 30 yards. Oh, yeah.
Look at that arrow placement.
Look at him. Oh. 5-pointer. That's a nice Kentucky deer. This double field really works out. That whole point's full of acorns. And they mill around the inside edge of that, and they bed down right here at the end of this point. Man, it made a short hunt this morning. Man, it is beautiful out here. I think I can drive the truck all the way to here. It's gonna be easy getting him out.
And let me share something with you. You know how you hunt whitetails when you're a kid, especially, it's how I started out, it's all ground hunting. I mean, we didn't even use tree stands 25, 30 years ago, and you're either sitting on a stump or a rock or right on the dirt. Not very comfortable. Well, we've got a solution for you. Take a look at this. This is Summit's new trophy seat. Let me show you how it works. You're not going to be sitting on the ground anymore. It packs real easy and it hangs even easier. You just take this rope that comes with it and you reach around a tree. Thread it through to where this hook is hanging. Now you take your trophy seat, hook it into there, and it's hanging. Now the rest of it, what we have here is it's a basic signature seat again. And what we can do is just open this up and you've got a seat in the woods. Now you can sit here all day long with your bow, or you can sit here with your muzzle loader, or if you're a turkey hunter, You can sit here because you're up off the ground and you got a better view. It's called a trophy seat. It'll make you more effective.
If you enjoy a challenge, try mixing these 3 things together: wild turkeys, tree stands, and your favorite bow and arrow kit. Good luck. To say that this is hard is an understatement. In this game, even getting your bow to full draw is tough. That bird has the best eyes in the business, can run and fly, and has vitals the size of a baseball. There's no such thing as luck when you take a turkey with a bow. There's no such thing as luck when you take a turkey with a bow.
This is the first turkey I've taken with a bow.
We were wondering just how much time you save by not using a safety belt while climbing. The answer is it takes only 24 seconds longer to reach 18 feet if you use a safety belt. That 24 seconds is the best spent time of your hunt.
Have you ever noticed how we spend months preparing for that one shot at a quality buck? We scout, hang stands, shoot hundreds of arrows at foam deer, yet at the deciding moment when it arrives, it carries hidden challenges that we can't prepare for. The deer is extra alert, the woods are dead silent, the thermals are dropping, and the wind is squirrely. A lot of variables, and any one thing can allow that buck to escape. There's one thing you can do to prepare. You can act out the scenario to the end. Even if you don't want to take a lesser buck, pretend you do. Stand, get your bow into your hands, position your feet, wait for the right moment, draw, anchor, set that pin right behind his shoulder, then let down. That's passing up a buck. That's real practice. I hear over and over bow hunters saying things like, I passed up 12 bucks this year. Did they pass them up, or did they just see them?
All summit tree stands include a safety belt. Let me show you how quick and easy it is to use this system. You simply loop it around the tree, pull out the extra slack, and then loop it underneath so that you perform a cinch on the tree. So now, if I try to pull it down, it locks tight on the tree. The remaining loop goes underneath your armpits and is pulled snug so that the belt stays up here on your chest where you have some protection. But the beauty of this system, on a climbing tree stand, it allows you to climb using your safety belt. You can slip it up the tree, secure it, raise the tree stand platform, and without any effort at all, go up the tree using the safety belt. So be sure you use your safety belt while climbing.
Expect closer encounters on a morning hunt. Rising thermals will carry your scent up and away, so deer are more likely to walk right under you. Rip has this doe right under him. The slightest sound and she's gone. Watch when Rip chooses to draw his bow.
yards. What a hunt this morning. As you can probably see, this big white oak behind me is absolutely raining acorns. A lot of deer sign and deer found.
Let me give you a valuable tip on drawing your bow. I've been behind a lot of guys, and I see this way too often. The whitetail's 12 yards away, wide awake, alert, and I see this. And then I see tails, because whitetails aren't blind. Here's how you draw your bow if you want to take that whitetail. You position your feet first. Then you look at the whitetail when he turns his head or focuses his attention away from you. You line up your arrow on that deer and you draw back to anchor without a wave. If you're a steeler's game, the wave's the right thing to do. When you're hunting whitetails, don't wave at them.
Hey, there he is. I thought I seen him go down up here. See what we got. Looks like we got a 1, 2, 3, 4 pointer. He ain't no Pope and Young, but at least it's something to put in the freezer and get started eating on, that's for sure. Well, this is about the first week of November, and the rut is just starting here in Indiana. And what we was doing tonight, we was hunting a fence line, just a regular cow fence line. And these bucks, what they do during the rut, they like to follow those fence lines. What they do, they'll walk up along the fence line and they'll check where deer trails, hop over the fence. And by that, when they come up to one, they'll smell it and check it to see if a hot doe's crossed that fence. And when they come to that, then they'll cross the fence and go on in or go whichever way the doe went. And that's what this guy was doing tonight when he came through.
You know, I've got another whitetail tip for you. If you look at this tree stand, we've got a jacket hanging in it. And that's what you need to do to check out your camouflage. Hang a jacket in the tree stand, get down for just a minute or two, and take a walk around the tree and get it from the deer's point of view and make sure you've got proper concealment. You might need to rotate the stand 45 degrees or 90, but you can see it from down here. And while you're looking at it, you can notice that the summit tree stands have the structure coming out away from the tree, not bars that are crossed to the tree, and it kind of gives it a natural camouflage, just like branches coming out from a tree. So check your stand next time you put it out. Take a minute, get down, walk around it, make sure you've got it in the right place.
what a hunt. We came in here this morning, we got in kind of late, set up. Where we set up was on this hillside. I climbed in a saber. It's about the only stand that you can climb a really big tree in. We had 2 bucks come in early, 2 8-points. One got just right under us, winded us. The wind was blowing completely the wrong direction. This doe came in later in the morning. You can see that she fell right here. I was able to climb right on top of a scrape. She was coming straight to it. We were right there. The scrape was right under us. We got right on top of the sign and made a good clean shot for a quick kill.
Bow hunting black bears is a real kick. But the fact is that many bear hunts in eastern Canada can be conducted without any risk of seeing a bear. Not so when you travel west into the wilderness provinces of Canada. Badinsky's Outfitters in Saskatchewan's Mossy River country offers bear hunting at its best. The remote base camp is reached by air, then travel via bombardier 6 miles into the bush to the main camp. From there we load supplies into boats and, like Lewis and Clark, travel via river current some 20 miles deeper. Here the bears don't even know how to spell the word man. From an outpost camp we radiate out to our tree stands by riverboat to bow hunt bears that have never been hunted before. If hunting behind a gas station along a dirt road in Ontario turns your crank, well, go for it. But if you're ready for an adventure that you'll never forget, in virgin black bear country, give Badinsky Outfitters a call.
How far are your camps spread out, or what do you have here, Larry?
My camps, I have basically 4 camps that we use. My first outpost is 16 miles downriver. The second camp after that is another 18. And about another 26 to my tent camp. So it covers about 60 miles of river between my camps.
And can you go upriver too?
Oh yeah, we can go upriver all the way back to the road if we wanted to. That's about another 30 miles of river.
Wow. So you're looking at 60 or 100 miles of
yeah, we got lots of area that we can move along.
This is virgin country too. I understand it's never been commercially hunted before.
No, it's not for bear.
Let's join Will Waller at a stand site overlooking the Mossy River, 200 air miles north of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, in Canada's wilderness.
Looks like a pretty good one.
I feel like I hit him pretty good. Oh yeah, looks like I hit him really good. Man, that was incredible. He came in, the first time he came in right here, and we lost him, and then a few minutes later he came up behind the bait, and then he went back in the woods again. Then he got over underneath us right here. He came around twice, and then came in here and got a piece of bait and took off with it. Well, 5 minutes later, here he came again. This time he came and he got it, and he turned around, and when he got it, I mean, I got him right here, and it looks like I made a pretty good hit on him. Oh, it looks good. Looks good. He went right through here. Yeah, he came. Look at, there he is, all right. My first bear. My first trip to Canada, and I bagged a black bear. Man, what an awesome bear. We came to Western Canada here. We're in Saskatchewan hunting with Larry Medinsky on the Mossy River, a beautiful place out in the middle of nowhere, a great remote bear hunt. Came in here, and this was my second night on the stand. Climbed last night and had just an unbelievable blonde chocolate bear come in and couldn't get a shot off. So tonight we came to another location. The stand just did wonders for us today. We had to stand up, 5 or 6 different times when the bear came in, and never made a peep. And another thing to really think about is to try and just wait them out. If you don't get a shot the first time the bear comes in, if you've done your homework, they're going to come back, and you're going to get another shot, and you're going to bag a trophy like this one.
Yesterday afternoon, I got dropped off at my bait site. We're in Saskatchewan, bow hunting for black bear. I climbed up into my summit tree stand and had to remove the mosquitoes because they like my seat as well as I do. We settled in for a long evening wait, and approximately 9:30, the bear just slipped in unnoticed, never heard anything. I had my bow hanging right above me on a tree limb, and I was caught with, the proverbial, my pants down. Pulled the bow down very quietly, got a full draw from a seated position, which in most cases is difficult. Worked out really well. The seat design gives you some room to move around. It was comfortable. I got the full draw. The shot maybe 20 yards. Bear was preoccupied with the bait. Got drawn. His right leg went forward, and we zing one right through the old boiler room. Bear didn't last 15 seconds. He was down, and that was the end of that. Boy, this Saskatchewan bear hunting is terrific.
Foot position is critical to making any shot. Position those feet early when anticipating a shot. If you're going to be moving your feet, be confident your platform will be absolutely quiet. Practice moving on that platform. Know where the outer edge is. Determine the animal's approach pattern and select the most likely shooting lane. Set up early for the shot. Don't wait until you're panicking.
Broadside. He's a good one. He's right here. Praise God. He's a bruiser. Had a heart attack. Wow. It's gonna be easy to find.
Let me tell you, if you enjoy thrilling stuff, I mean thrilling stuff to where your heart's beating and you can't breathe right, you need to come up and try some bear hunting. It is incredible. I mean, there were a couple times there where and I've been next to lots of bears, and this bear just had me concerned. The way it was so spooky, you just see it slipping around. My heart was beating 100 miles an hour. What a good bear. And boy, you know, there's a couple things that are really important, I think. When you're hunting black bear, they have a tendency, almost no matter where you go, to be real cautious. And this bear is no exception. You see how he came in and he's kind of looking over here and poking over here and just walking like a cat prowling around a bait, you know. That bear's on alert. I mean, red alert. And you can't make any sound at all. And that's what I was doing. I was trying to sit dead still. I was being dead still, except the bear started circling me, and I wanted to keep track of him, so I turned around. I did like a 360 in my stand, turned all the way around, and I turned all the way around again and caught him. On this side, he walked about 30 yards behind me. It was a real thriller. But you got to be able to move like that. If you can't move, you're just hampering your success. Let me tell you something else that's important. When you're sitting there, do you see all these mosquitoes? There's a cloud of mosquitoes here. When you're bear hunting, here's another tip for you. When you're bear hunting, make certain you have a really good bug net. This one I'm wearing is made in Canada, Jimbo's bug net. And I'll tell you what, here's why you want to use a bug net and not rely on or bug clothing, you know, that mosquitoes can't get through, and not rely on bug dope, because these bears run on their nose. I mean, that's how he found the bait. That's what he was doing when he was circling me. He was smelling. And if I smell like a can of bug spray, it's working against you. But what an incredible day this has been. I don't know. I can't believe it. And to have a bear quit that fast, that bear quit in a couple seconds. That was a perfect shot. Incredible performance, you know, with that head, and just took that bear right down. Saskatchewan black bears, I love it.
So there you have it, bucks from above. You know, whitetails aren't getting any dumber, and whitetail hunting isn't going to get any easier. But I think you're equipped now to blend some of those tips we've offered you into your whitetail hunting next fall. Then when you're sitting out there at stand level watching an October dawn break into full light, you'll hear the unmistakable footsteps on dry leaves of a buck coming into that scrape. Then you'll set your feet and raise your bow, and you'll pick a spot and smoothly draw to anchor. Then he'll whirl and disappear into the woods for no reason. But he'll be back, and so will you.